Tim with nothing but a cowboy hat on, boy. What's the world coming to today? Now, we're going to get back to that in just a moment. But first, hey guys, welcome. And welcome for the first time. Welcome back. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching and subscribing and liking and commenting and engaging. And a big thank you, big shout out to Blind Views for sending so many people my way. I appreciate having the ability to have these conversations with people who have a similar interests, regardless of whatever it may be. The fact that we enjoy analyzing YouTube channels and discussing the numbers and the analytics and the algorithm and trends and patterns and whatever it may be, well, that's just fun to me. And I enjoy this. This is not by any way, any shape or form, any way, any means of trying to tear down any creators. And if anything, my sole purpose here is to hopefully help folks get better, help channels grow, help creators improve, get more views, more subs, ultimately make more money, and myself in the process. A lot of what I do to help so many other people and other channels and other content creators and influencers and YouTubers, small YouTube channels, whatever it may be, is based on these experiments, these tests, these videos, these that I put together myself and run to get the numbers, to get the feedback, and to figure out what's working and what's not. And some of the best ways to figure out what's working and what's not is by basically just looking around you. Other businesses do it. Pretty much any business you think about today is focusing on not only their own sales and their own financial bottom line and their balance sheets, but also what's happening in the market. What are the current trends? What are reviews saying about them? What is the sentiment in the market from a customer perspective? Are they viewed in a good way or a bad way? How can they improve themselves? Do they need to explore and entertain the idea of a rebranding, or maybe put themselves out there on the market to be acquired and move on, cash out? Maybe switch up some things, change some prices, adjust here and there, make these minor changes and improvements, wait and see how the market responds, get feedback, and go from there. I don't think in terms of any business, and I've referred to YouTube channels as businesses, can literally set it and forget it and sit on autopilot forever. But that's just me. That's my take, and it is what it is. Take it for what it's worth. But regardless, I want to go through a few different things here. One of them being a comment that I received that said, hey, it's almost 12 noon and Sarasota Tim hasn't uploaded a video yet, which led me to believe maybe something was wrong. Fortunately, I don't think that was the case. I don't think there was anything wrong. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. But then I thought, well, maybe he did decide to stop uploading, to stop providing ammunition and firepower to those who essentially are using it against him. And no, that wasn't the case. And he put out this video, and there's a few things in this video I wanted to kind of talk about and discuss, as well as another comment that I received with a request of asking me to compare Sarasota Tim and Sarasota Tim's YouTube channel to another YouTube channel. And I'll show you that YouTube channel on the screen right here, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's see what Tim had to say on one of his many uploads that he finally published after not being seen for so long today. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, so I definitely figured it out. Shorter videos, T-Mobile, they upload in about 4 minutes. So I will be making much shorter videos, and you will be hearing a lot more from me, and I'll be able to share with you a lot more than I'm doing on multiple videos. I know you enjoy them, and I really appreciate it. And I've got the e-bike out.
Actually pretty interesting to me, because honestly, for a second, and please forgive me because I don't watch Sarasota Tim's videos enough to really know a lot about all that he does. But honestly, I think for the most part, I could probably dive into anybody's channel within a few videos and figure out what I need to know as far as what's working and what's not. And odds are, you know, take a pretty close and educated guess at what could be done to make improvements almost immediately without needing to watch every single video, because there's going to be a lot of videos that stand out. And these videos that stand out are the ones that do perform really well and the ones that perform poorly. And that's pretty much it. Everything else in between is, it's really unnecessary. Now, in regard to the upload frequency or the video length and the video time, I do kind of wonder about the mathematical headspace in regard to what was said, because the time in which it takes to upload a 4-minute video is mathematically going to be more than likely pretty close to twice the time it would be to upload a 2-minute video, or half the time it would be to upload an 8-minute video. So I don't really understand the difference with that one, but this is just my opinion outside looking in. But at first I thought that Tim, maybe he didn't know how to edit videos. So instead of editing videos and splicing them together, every video would be its own, instead of editing a day's worth of content into 1 hour-long video. Maybe, I don't know how long the videos are collectively.
Really appreciate it. And I've got the e-bike out this morning. I've already ridden it a couple of times around the lot here, down to the casino to use the restroom facilities, and I plan on riding around some more.
I'm not going to do it, but I do think that Tim is setting himself up for failure here by making a reference that he's going to visit the casinos, okay? And the last thing that I would want to do on a fixed income would be visit a casino, if that makes sense.
And I plan on riding around some more today. I just made myself 3 eggs, put some ketchup on them, scarfed that down. I had cowboy coffee. Yes, I drank it black today. The other pot. I drank the first pot with my hazelnut. It is fantastic being out here traveling. There's no better life than doing what I'm doing right here.
Now, I do feel like maybe this statement, this broad statement that maybe wasn't really, there wasn't a lot of thought behind this statement of telling people that there's no better life than what you're doing right then and there. And I feel like that could potentially rub some people the wrong way, but I don't really know. Maybe, maybe not.
These other folks out here are doing the same thing, maybe in a different way. Maybe they're going different places. But wherever their travels are taking them, they're in an RV. They're in Laughlin, Nevada. They're around.
I mean, this is a great opportunity to plug some strong keywords of RV and the location in Nevada where you're at. But I feel like we're venturing into the same territory in which quite possibly has placed Sarasota Tim in the position that he's in today by making these broad statements and these blanket statements of whatever he's doing is correct. And ultimately, if you're not doing what he's doing, then whatever you're doing is wrong. And we've been down that road before with Social Security and collecting at the earliest age possible, 62, 62 and a half. I don't know for sure. I don't know 100%, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
They're around casinos. They're around the Colorado River. They're around these mountains. It's just.
And then this overlay, this text overlay that he included, I'm like, okay, well, I was wrong. Maybe he does know how to edit videos.
It's just fantastic. The weather here, you don't want to be here in June, July, and August. I don't want to be in Florida either. It's triple digits here.
So that I don't want to be in Florida either, I feel like it's going to be ripped and chopped and screwed and used so many different ways by so many different people. And honestly, I have lost track of how many channels exist now because of Sarasota Tim, which is unbelievable to think. It's actually, it's extremely funny. It's extremely ironic to me. But I've also come across some channels that are pro Sarasota Tim, for Sarasota Tim. And I'm not saying that I'm against, I'm not saying that I'm for. I'm more of an impartial analytical review and YouTube channel deep dive. Maybe, yeah, I don't want to consider myself to be a roast. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just picking apart videos for fun and hoping that there's something here that can be uncovered and discovered for everybody that would allow everybody to get more views and get more subs and make more money. But saying that you don't want to be in Florida, I feel like could potentially be used against you. And unfortunately, being in this particular situation, I think that a lot of folks out there are just sitting there and waiting for Sarasota Tim to slip up and say the wrong thing so that they can then create a new video off of whatever he said. But be that as it may, I did come across 2 channels last night that were kind of for Sarasota Tim, or at least for leveraging Sarasota Tim and his virality or previous virality in attempts or hopes of growing their own channels. And I'll put some of their content up.
Hey everybody, Traveling with Jack and Pam here. Of course, I'm Jack, the one half of the duo. The other part of the dynamic duo, Pam, she went to heaven. We still got the channel. Hey, I want to talk to you about my new hero that you saw in the title line. My new hero in the YouTube world is a guy named Sarasota Tim. Now, I personally would have thought he'd be Tampa Tim, or maybe Tempe Tim, Tioga Tim, but no, he was living in Sarasota, so he went with Sarasota Tim. It does kind of flow off nicely, doesn't it? Sarasota Tim, I like that. However, Sarasota Tim no longer lives in Sarasota. He moved over to Florida's East Coast, Boynton Beach now. So he's Sarasota Tim in Boynton Beach. Point being though, Sarasota Tim is knocking it out of the park. And I'm talking about Sarasota Tim because I need to knock it out of the park. Now, here's the deal. In the YouTube world out there, there's something called algorithms. I have no idea what they are, but certain things trigger algorithms that make channels just explode. And it's very random. You never know when it's going to happen or who it's going to happen to. It's kind of like playing a slot machine. You keep feeding it money, and every now and then, boom, a big payoff. And I guess I'm still waiting on that. Pam and I started this channel.
And it's interesting because Sarasota Tim is a strong search term. Literally any video I put up a video earlier today about Walmart. Michelle and I, Scroll Tribe, we went out to Walmart, and the search term is Sarasota Tim. And odds are the video that she put up about Wells Fargo Bank, search term Sarasota Tim. We can't escape it. We literally can't escape it. I don't understand it. It's the craziest thing, but we're not the only ones. So when others see this search term provided to them by YouTube in their analytics, then they're going to use it too to their advantage, quite possibly. Now, one of which said that, hey guys, Sarasota Tim has picked up like 65,000 subscribers, and there's no way you could do that without, there's no way you could gain that many subscribers by lying to people.
Hey everybody, how's it going today? Tonight I'm going to do something a little bit different on my channel. As most of you know, my channel is about going out and doing things with family and stuff like that, like nature walks, vacations, just out enjoying life. But tonight I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. Tonight I want to talk about a channel called Sarasota Tim. Before you guys start getting worried about it or anything, I'm not here to bash Sarasota Tim's channel for any of his subscribers that might see this. Actually, I'm going to do quite the opposite. I look through YouTube on my feed, and every so often I'll have videos that come up with pictures of Sarasota Tim, and I click on them, and lo and behold, their videos putting the guy down. From everything you can think of, they're putting him down. He's a con artist. He doesn't know what he's talking about, Social Security. He isn't really a minimalist. He's lying about that. He's trying to fool people. He's ripping people off. This is all the type of crap that I keep seeing about Sarasota Tim's channel. And I think it's a bunch of bullcrap, guys. I don't care whether it's true or whether it's false. It's really nobody's business how somebody else's channel is running. The guy's got something like, I don't know, 64,000 subscribers. Now, you don't get that by being a con artist or an idiot or somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about or somebody who's putting out crappy stuff. You know, these other channels, in my opinion.
And I'm not saying that Sarasota Tim is lying or he's a liar, but I am saying that it's quite possible for channels to grow to a substantial amount of subscribers by lying in general. And I'll give you two examples right now. One of which would be just watching any of these videos here from Hannah Alonso and her video essays and reactions to influencers who essentially, she's created like an entire series. She probably got a playlist of influencers who lie, who literally, they tell these little lies or they fabricate these pathological lies that are really, really disturbing. And even Leon Lush, because Leon Lush, you need to check out Leon Lush too. But Hannah Alonso, she even pointed out one was a preacher's wife, and she creates content, lifestyle content that is blatantly a lie as a preacher's wife, which is insane, mind-blowing. But it is what it is, folks. This is the world that we live in. And there was another guy, some guy a few months ago who kind of blew up periodically for some of his being exposed for some of his lies within his church. But there's another one, and she's not even around anymore, but her name was All In with Ari, and she grew and grew and grew until she got busted. So don't think that because a channel's growing and they're getting a bunch of subs that they aren't or couldn't possibly be doing something wrong, okay? You never know what folks' motives are and or their capabilities when it comes to using and utilizing technology in YouTube and to create this fake persona. And even Bobby Altoff has specifically said that she's created an alter ego to be her channel, which is extremely awkward, but you know, it propelled her into internet fame and lots of money too, and quite possibly maybe a divorce, but maybe she hooked up with Drake. So anything's possible
during the summer months. But a lot of people endure it, just like people do in South Florida, like I've endured for the last few years. But it would really be great to be here enjoying this fantastic place as part of our country that's geographically close to so many other cool places for several months, and then go off somewhere with a mobile type thing to stay in, living on the road, and being where the climate is more bearable. So anyway.
All right, now look, for those of you who appreciate this type of content, I get it. There's a lot of folks out there who may potentially be lonely, and this is a way for them to stay connected to someone on a regular basis. But to me, this just seems like, hey, I'm monetized. Let me create a bunch of content that's useless and ultimately just a waste of time to see if I can just catch something. You know, literally just baiting your hook and just throwing that rod out there and just hoping that a fish will bite. And that may or may not necessarily be the most efficient way of producing a way of putting dinner on the table, but for some, they that's what they want to do.
Anyway, these short videos are going to be coming to you hot and fast.
What was the photograph of, Mr. Depp?
Was human fecal matter.
We're going to be shotgunning them, and I just want to thank everybody.
And I spoke too soon because I didn't realize he was going to say that, and I feel like coming to you hot and fast and just shotgun approach. I mean, if we literally think about it as a shotgun with, let's just say, a buckshot load, you're not necessarily focused on hitting any specific target. You're looking to pepper and spray whatever you can get. Whereas if you took a different approach of, let's just say, a sniper, well, then odds are you're going to be much more focused and on your target and ultimately what you're trying to hit, the message you're actually trying to deliver, versus opposed to just pressing record and wasting yours and quite possibly other people's time for the sole benefit of hearing yourself talk and possibly receiving some form of income from the platform, from ad revenue, or maybe from donations from some of the folks watching your content.
Everybody that is watching the videos, the people that are supporting me, the people that are defending me, the people that are just...
Yeah, the supporting. That's interesting how he phrases supporting, because I feel like he means monetarily. And this is not me knocking. This is just me analyzing and, you know, from a creator's perspective, and that's all, okay? If this is what you like, it's what you like, you prefer, that's cool, that's great.
Right there with me. I love you guys so much, and I'm really blessed to be out here doing this. The Eyes is doing really well. What else do you guys want to know you're asking about?
You know, because for instance, I think Sarah, she left a comment and she says, you know, Kevin, I'm not super interested in Sarasota Tim, but I'll watch all your videos. And I appreciate that support. I do. And on the flip side, I get comments like these from Claire Parker on the road. Kevin, I can't find myself on Social Blade. Nope, that's not. I love this content, Kevin. Thanks. Claire Parker on the road. Check out Claire Parker on the road. Traveling, solo, and I believe she's living in a car. Maybe not still, but there was a point in time where she was living in a car with, I believe, her dog. But at the same time, I have to treat this like a business, and YouTube is pushing me into a direction that's saying, look, if you make this type of content, you're going to get these kinds of views and ultimately this kind of revenue. If you make this kind of content, then you're going to get these kind of views and this kind of revenue and growth and this, that, and the other. So it's a game, unfortunately, but you know, if you know that and you want to play it, then play it to win. But I'm not playing this game to waste people's time. I'm ultimately trying to continue to deliver the message that I would like to share and help and inform and educate as many people as possible, quite possibly preventing them from making any mistakes or errors, or maybe even answering a few questions along the way if I can. Granted, this is not financial advice or anything like that, but I understand that YouTube's saying, we'll give you this much, we'll give you this if you want it. If you want to take this over here, go for it. But if you do that, then you're going to get a few hundred views per video instead of a few thousand views per video. You're not going to gain subs, you're going to lose subs, and you're not going to make as much money.
The truck is good, the teardrop is good, the e-bike is wonderful. It's a great little tow vehicle. I've got the perfect little minimalist setup, and don't listen to anything else out there. You only want to get what I tell you. Don't listen.
Now, I'm a little worried about that. You only want to get what I tell you. And I feel like, again, we're falling into that trap of Social Security when already having had said before, you can't believe a damn word that comes out of my mouth, or a damn word that I say, or something like that.
And my sayings are prison job. I used the saying that you can't believe a darn thing I say, but I say the other word with the D. And listen to anything that you're hearing or watching, or coattailers, or people that are trying to, whatever they're trying to do. So, hey, how you doing?
That might have been an FBI agent trying to track him down. Hey, how's it going? No, I'm just playing. But I would never tell anybody to only listen to me. That is a terrible. I wouldn't even tell my wife or my child to only listen to me. I would tell people to consume with consideration and make your own judgment. Do your own homework. Do your own research. Only listen to and, you know, believe what you want to believe based on the research that you've done, that you feel comfortable with, even if it's from the standpoint of believing somebody is traveling the country and living on Social Security or whatever it may be. That's up to you what you want to believe. Now, at the same time, YouTube is, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. And if this is a way for you to disconnect and engage into a fantasy world, then by all means, disconnect and engage. But remember where the line is drawn between fantasy and reality, okay? Fact, fiction, truth, lies.
You like that? You got a little thumbs up there. People love this little bushwhacker. And so I'm going to try and call the guy now that owns the bigger teardrop, the little guy, Minimax, and see if I can make a deal. And if I do, this right here is either going to be sold here locally, or I'll store it, or I'll do something with it. And I'll work it out. God's going to work it out for me. But folks,
that's interesting. The last thing I would want to do is be on the road halfway across the country and then trying to figure out what I'm going to do with two trailers that I can't possibly manage. I can only manage one. But God's going to work it out. God's going to figure it out, which I'm not knocking him. Again, I'm not knocking him, but this is a great strategy of incorporating your daily life and your personal health and the food that you've eaten and your religious, you know, these are great ways of trying to pull in the audience and getting them to feel comfortable and relate to you.
Everything that you get from me is from the gospel. What I tell you.
So I don't know where he's going with that.
I actually keep my heart next to my Constitution.
I do what I say, and I say what I do.
Strapped with hundreds of millions of dollars in legal fees and court judgments, former President Donald Trump has turned to selling Bibles online.
Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
For $59.99, Trump is now hawking what he calls the God Bless the USA Bible that includes text of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence.
Proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again.
President Trump famously held the Bible upside down after police cleared Lafayette Park during protests. The Bible is a licensing deal. Trump will collect royalties, meaning proceeds of this Bible will go into the former president's pocket.
I know there's a lot of stuff out there that I was blissfully ignorant of hearing about. I don't want to get emails. I don't want to get texts about things that people are saying and doing out there in the world about Sarasota.
And unfortunately, Tim, this is the world that you live in. This is the world that you've actually created. When you become a YouTube content creator, when you get virality, when you begin to get pushed, you're going to get a lot of things that you think you want, and you're going to get so many other things that you find out you don't want. But unfortunately, you can't stop people from commenting or emailing you or anything like that unless you go dark. Are you going to go dark?
Tim, they've got issues. Let them deal with it. I pray for them. What you want to hear is positive, good, fun stuff. And that's what you'll find on this channel. So just remember, PMA.
And that's actually a good motivational ending there of what you want to see is positive and fun stuff, which I would love for that to be the case. But with my recent understanding and newfound knowledge of this term hate watch and what I had already seen happening and going down on YouTube on the platform of extreme negativity being pushed the most and cringe-worthy content and ultimately fails and just problems and tragedy and everything bad is what gets the most views. I hear you, buddy, but I don't think that's actually what they really want. I really don't. I mean, and you can see it if you literally just sign into YouTube as a new user and browse through the homepage and recommend it and see how much positivity they're pushing, okay?
Positive mental attitude. Don't listen to negative. Get rid of it. Have a grateful attitude today. Have a positive attitude. There's nothing that you need to listen to that's going to bring you down. Stay away from the media. Stay away from YouTube channels that are negative. Stay away from people that are negative. Stay away from all of that. Purge it from your life. Start finding joy and happiness, because the more of that you let in, the more of the other you eschew and purge from your life, the much better you'll be thinking, acting, feeling. And why have any of that in your head? Your mind is not a garbage can, folks. Your mind needs to be filled with positive things. And that's what we're going to bring to you right here on this channel. And we're going to absolutely, every minute, every day, crush it.
When you purposely end your videos with a catchy cliche catchphrase, I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel kind of a certain kind of way. But be that as it may, I do want to say that I would like to see more people purge negativity from their life and seek out the positive and seek out the good and seek out the things that are going to help people and encourage growth and change in a positive way. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if that day ever comes. All right, as I said, we're going to talk about another channel, a channel that was requested by a viewer who left a comment and asked that I compare Wonderhussy to Sarasota Tim, okay? And I appreciate that, because this is one of the things that I asked for in the last video or the video before last. If there were any other channels that you like a YouTube analytics breakdown, deep dive review on, I'd love to do it, because I think you can learn. I think you can learn from anybody's channel, from anybody in any way, really, but from a YouTube content creator perspective, I think you can learn from anybody's channel. You really can. And if that's something that interests you, then by all means, please stick around, smash the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to grow your channel, if you want to grow a channel, start a channel, if you want to use digital media to increase and boost your business and make more money, then this is a great way to do it, folks. And I love it. And I love talking about it. And I think I know a lot about it, but I'm not a pro. I'm not an expert. But I do engage in it on a regular basis. And I've seen a lot. I know a lot. I work with a lot of people. And there's been tremendous success and a huge financial gain from it. So be that as it may, let's talk about Sarasota Tim and let's talk about Wonderhussy. Now, full disclosure, I'm not going to compare Sarasota Tim's channel to wonderhussy in the same way that I've compared Sarasota Tim's channel to Blind Views. And the reason being is because I don't think that they are on the same level. I don't think that they are considered to be the same type of channels, or at least any way remotely related, okay? I feel like Sarasota Tim and Blind Views has some sort of tie and connection for the fact that Blind Views is making content from Sarasota Tim's content, or about Sarasota Tim, or in reference to Sarasota Tim. wonderhussy, I believe, is like some form of frugal, maybe solo female nomadic traveler of sorts, I think. I'm doing this from memory because all my notes are on my phone, and my GoPro, I ran out of memory space. Don't ask, whatever. So I'm doing this from memory. But also, wonderhussy's channel, she's got 200,000+ subscribers, okay? And this isn't even a fair fight. It really isn't. But there's a whole lot going on here, but I didn't do a deep dive. I didn't break out the social blade because I didn't feel like they were on the same level from a comparison perspective. And one of the main reasons why comes down to, yeah, Cowboy Tim with nothing but a cowboy hat on. Wouldn't you love to see that? Wouldn't you love to see that in the streets of New York City, Times Square or something like that? Or wherever in the Nevada or Sarasota or South Florida, wherever he lives. But the main thing is before somebody even asked me to review wonderhussy, I've come across a lot of YouTube channels over the years. So when somebody asked me to compare wonderhussy, I had already come across this channel before. So I'm thinking to myself, well, any success that comes from wonderhussy, or the success of wonderhussy's channel, would be a stark contrast to what Sarasota Tim is capable of from the type of content that is produced in addition to other platforms besides just YouTube, okay? Because YouTube loves inbound traffic, and some of this inbound traffic can boost a channel's push and growth and virality and seemingly success and the appearance of vanity metrics of high views and subscriber counts. And I think wonderhussy's got Sarasota Tim beat for a variety of reasons. I'm going to try to record this. Yeah, I immediately ran out of space. So it says here, wonderhussy adventure. Hi, I'm wonderhussy, and an all-American adventurous with an insatiable curiosity about and love for the weird wonders of this wide world. I don't take anything too seriously, and I ain't scared of nothing. Having spent 21 years in Las Vegas selling yo-yos and romping around for the benefit of photographers, I eventually grew curious as to what's outside the Vegas city limits. And from the very first abandoned hoe house I stumbled upon in the Nevada desert back in 2016, I've been sharing my adventures on YouTube. Hot springs, ghost towns, lonely desert outposts, and high Sierra hideaways. I hunt them all down in my quest to discover the secret history of the American West. One strange place at a time. There's no mountain too high, no road too rough, and nowhere I'd rather be than the middle of nowhere. So get in, sit down, and buckle up. We're going adventuring. And she includes a mailing address here too. All right, guys, so I just realized that I've actually pulled together quite a bit of notes or research to share with you, and I don't want to disappoint you and ultimately not provide you with my very best. So I'm gonna kind of pause it here, and we're gonna head out because the sun's getting real low, guys. And I told Michelle we would visit the rooftop and hang out at the Henderson, so we're gonna do that. I'll finish recording this later tonight, maybe tomorrow, and I'll bring you guys the final and finished product later. Again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Blind Views, and I'll see you guys here in just a minute. All right, bye. Yeah, so the most important part was making sure that we didn't miss the sunset.
Yes.
And granted, fortunately, since it's daylight savings time, we have more time available, you know, because before it was like 5:45 or something. and now it's a little past 6, and we probably got
For a while it was at 4 something, almost 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we probably got to at least 6:30.
It's actually 7:03 today.
7:03.
I checked it, yes.
And it works out because we had some traffic on the way here.
Yeah.
All the spring breakers showed up, and then the state trooper flew by.
Yeah.
And so we won't be taking 98.
No.
We'll have to take the back roads moving forward.
There.
But this is the Henderson, if you guys have never seen it. Pretty cool place. We have never stayed here, but we kind of want to one time just to feel what the vibe is like. Tell T we were coming. To the roof. One of these days. Is it one of these days?
One of these days.
So the lady, we get in the elevator, she goes, where you headed? And she was going to push the button for us, but I was thinking how funny it would be if I said, where are you headed? He's teasing. What can we get? So here we are on the roof, and there's a view. Here's the view. There's a songwriter, Emerald Coast songwriter. Yeah, but the sign back there says Emerald Coast songwriter, which I can't get it to focus on. Put it back in the bun? Huh?
So if you're gonna record me, tell me so I can pull my shorts like that. All chunky like.
Hey guys, welcome back. It is now Saturday, and we had a really fun and enjoyable night hanging out at the Henderson on the rooftop. And I woke up this morning, I looked over the edits that I had made and the video that I had put together so far, and I think I got myself to a point now where I can finalize this and wrap it up and give you a pretty thorough and comprehensive comparison of these two channels, Sarasota Tim and wonderhussy. Now, YouTube is more than just YouTube. It's not just a single channel or a single video or anything like that. YouTube, there are parts to a whole, okay? And so when I review and analyze and try to get an idea of, these channels and the creators tied to these channels and theoretically their success or areas where they could improve, I don't solely look at YouTube. I look on the internet as far and as wide as I can see, because YouTube drives traffic from so many different sources. Michelle and I, we were actually talking about that because she's got a video right now that has crossed over 2 million views and it has received 12.3 million impressions so far. It's still maintaining an 8.5% click-through rate, and ironically 76.6% of the views came from YouTube search. And what makes that even crazier is that the YouTube search terms associated with this video have nothing to do with the video. But be that as it may, the traffic sources can come from YouTube search. In this instance, YouTube search is number one. Browse features, direct or unknown, other YouTube features, suggested videos, others. So these are things that you have to take into consideration, or at least I do, when looking and comparing other channels from the surface, from the outside looking in, because I don't have access to everybody's analytics. So if I see two channels, seemingly similar niche, similar categories, similar talking points, similar topics with different results, then I have to then start drawing conclusions based on any information, any inputs that I can gather. And maybe it's because one of them is driving more traffic from off of YouTube than the other, maybe. But with that being the case, we'll go down that rabbit hole with wonderhussy. And first stop, Twitter or X, whichever one. And she's got almost 10,000 followers on Twitter, and it shows her here, and it says desert adventurous and bon vivant, exploring ghost towns, abandoned buildings, and desert oddities. Now, I will say that I think there's a huge audience and niche interested in ghost stories, abandoned ghost town type things, ghost hunting. So automatically this may be a huge differentiator between wonderhussy and Sarasota Tim. But granted, Sarasota Tim potentially had the interest of millions in regard to Social Security. But if you're going to jump on YouTube to consume content for entertainment, I don't really find Social Security to be so really entertaining, let alone really worth talking about more than once, maybe twice a month, maybe. Whereas ghost towns and ghost stories, you can pretty much do that every day if you wanted to. Now, moving on from Twitter, we head over to Reddit, and I didn't find a lot on Reddit. I mean, I did. There's a lot of subreddits associated and tied to wonderhussy, and it's all pretty much standard, typical stuff. However, I did come across this thread, and it says, I know it's unhealthy, but who are some YouTubers you can't stop hate watching? And this is actually 2 years ago, so I didn't even realize that hate watching has been going on for as long as it has. And interestingly enough, this subreddit thread and the subreddit Red Scare Pod, one of the replies said, Emma Chamberlain's old vlogs. Can't believe she went from the classless Bay Area quirky girl who pisses and shits herself in elevators to Hollywood's newest fashionista it girl in just under 1.5 years. Soft white underbelly, depression porn, Kim and Liz, ASMR mom and daughter duo that only eat desserts and upload daily. Somehow they disgust me more than Nikado or other mukbangers. It's weird because these YouTubers, these channels, this content, the niche, they have seasons. And these seasons are tied to social trends, social media trends, news, but also like people and their interests and the season of their lives, the age of your audience. And it's actually interesting seeing some channels that grew tremendously from creators at a young age, drawing in a young audience, to then grow and grow older, while their content still kind of draws in a younger audience that doesn't necessarily really connect with the older creator today. So these comparisons are all almost like they have expiration dates on them. And this is a good reason why a lot of YouTubers oftentimes quit, or they stop using their channels and maybe start a new one, a completely different one for a completely different time and era of their lives. And others, their viewers, their audience, the algorithm. OMG, I've been in the same algorithm loop. I cannot get out of it. I hate these people and the way they talk and their corny little brand deals. Now, the last one here says, Wonderhussy Adventures. Actually, I enjoy her videos. The only person I have hate watched repeatedly on YouTube is Amberlyn Reed. I've never heard of this one. I've never heard of Amberlyn Reed, so I don't know about that one. And then folks continue to go on and discuss channels that they hate, yada, yada, yada. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it seems like, in comparison to Sarasota Tim, Wonderhussy has a really good reputation on the internet so far, seemingly, you know. If I ever want to go buy a vehicle, you guys may do the same thing. If I ever want to buy a vehicle, I will typically do a search for the vehicle and problems, because I want to know what I could potentially be getting myself into before purchasing this vehicle, especially with how expensive these vehicles, these cars and trucks are today. And YouTube, personal brands, the internet, social media, it really is no different. You look around, you see how bad is this person, basically. And if you can't find anything about how bad they are, then that's good. However, if we were to do a search on Sarasota Tim, I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying that the results would be different. Now, this one here, I just jumped over to the Gossip Bakery just to see, and there's some reference mention here of someone by the name of Jennifer Ross. And it says, her name is Wonderhussy. How could Jen not know about her and name her new rebrand something so ridiculous and similar to someone already in that wheelhouse? She's such an idiot. And this actually comes from the beginning of the thread. Says, so there is an actual solo wanderer, van lifer, middle-aged woman YouTuber who is pretty successful, 166,000 subs, and has a lot of really well done content. If that's what you're into, her name is Wonderhussy. Now, this is probably older because I think she probably has more subs than that now. And this is probably answering some questions asked by others in the forum about types of content that they may enjoy. And this is a great share. This is a great organic, natural share that will boost and drive up your engagement and increased impressions and reach in YouTube, because literally people want to watch you and want other people to know that your videos exist and to watch you as well. This is one of the things that really blew up Ryan Trahan. If you know who Ryan Trahan is, then you'll know that how he kind of got started. And what really blew him up was the fact that so many people wanted to be a part of his journey and wanted to share it with so many other people. Now, interestingly enough, whoever she's referring to, or this person's referring to as Jennifer Ross, this may be an honest mistake, or it could be intentional. And choosing to name or rename or rebrand yourself a similar name as someone else in your wheelhouse or in your niche, you kind of got to know. You got to know, right? But maybe it's an opportunity to potentially capture some of that audience and that traffic from that name, maybe. Now, digging a little bit deeper here, going a little bit further, quite possibly part of a contributing factor, a strong contributing factor to Wonderhussy's success. We have this SW Images. Now, this is a few years old, but SW Images says here that Sarah Jane is a Las Vegas model that I began working with in the fall of 2008. It has been a wonderful experience working with her all these years, and this is from our last shoot in December of 2015, so it's been a while. Now, these images here, some of them I can't show you non-redacted on YouTube for obvious reasons, because I want my channel to not be demonetized or get hit with the age restriction. But essentially, you can see the types of photography that she would model and be a part of. And it says that I've told her I retired, but I think she's waiting on a call from me to do one more shoot. I'm betting she's right. She blogs under the name of Wonderhussy and shares her many and varied adventures with the world. Now, besides these very, very adult photographs, suggestive photographs, images, I think the key here is that what was said at the end, Wonderhussy shares her many and varied adventures with the world. And I think folks truly enjoy being a part and having adventures shared with them through this platform, through YouTube. However, in comparison, there's no way that I would consider Sarasota Tim's content to be an adventure. So that could potentially be a drawback in regard to his growth and success and reach in traveling across the country, as it's not so much of an adventure and more of just spend the day with me, maybe. I'm bored, so I uploaded something, shot through my windshield. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm only gauging by glancing through the thumbnails of these videos and these titles. But again, in comparison to Wonderhussy, Tim lacks something key, I think, in the success of some creators on and off the platform. And as we venture onto another website here, again, doing my research across the internet, we have a Patreon. And immediately upon accessing this Patreon webpage, I'm greeted with a consent or attestation that I am above the age of 18, for as this content must be for adults only. And she has membership options ranging from $1 a month to $20 a month. And as we go through these, quick scroll through the Patreon, you can see that they're all blurred out. So odds are that what's to be seen here can't be shown to the masses without some form of paywall between them. However, the internet is a crazy place, folks, and a quick Google search will probably lead you down the path and direction of what you could likely expect to see behind said Patreon paywall. Again, a lot of these photos I am not going to be able to show you without some form of cover up, for lack of better words. But at the end of the day, I do believe that it's really hard to compare these two channels to each other because they're not, in essence, they're not anywhere close to being the same. From pretty much every possible angle of consideration, being male versus female, being age of the channels, being the amount of uploads, being the quality of the content, being the nature of the topic, of the niche, of the genre, and the additional influences coming from various parts of the internet, in addition to the general consensus of how most of the majority of the audience views one versus the other in a much more positive light, whereas maybe the other not so much, maybe seeing more of a negative reputation and review of his peers across the internet. And it's only getting worse, I think, because of YouTube taking control. Whereas I said, Michelle, she's got a video with 2 million views. It's getting served. It gets like 10,000 views a day, and this video is months old. And YouTube just keeps showing it, keeps showing it, keeps showing it, keeps showing it. And I've seen this happen before. And unfortunately, I feel like it's tied to negativity. I feel like it's tied to cringe. I feel like it's tied to all things not positive, okay? And so YouTube feeds off of this negative energy and continues to push it and push it and push it and push it. And then others will then see the results of this push, and they're going to jump on the bandwagon. Now, granted, some are going to jump on and continue to push the negativity that will probably get compound interest and continue to be pushed more and more and more. Others will be the creator himself and continuously, stumble along and, shotgun and send you videos hot and fast. And then there will be the opposite end of the spectrum of people who potentially try to defend Sarasota Tim and his content, or try to understand or side with him, or maybe my position here, just trying to analyze and review the data, the numbers, the analytics, with also another possible consideration being those who are just trying to keyword stuff Sarasota Tim's name as many times as possible to quite possibly just catch a little bit of it and get a little boost from that wave of the algorithm. We've seen this happen before. Recently, the most recent ones that I can think of were Jason Aldean. When Jason Aldean was in the news, if you mentioned Jason Aldean, you were going to get views. It didn't matter. The wildfires in Hawaii and Lahaina, another one. And the most recent one being Cat Williams. That was a big one. And there was another one for a little while. He may still be popping, but Colonel McGregor was a big deal. And, you know, Trump, Biden is kind of saturated, so it is what it is. But Letitia James, Fannie Willis, Kavanaugh, you got Hochul, you got Adams. Like, there's certain names out there that you can kind of drop or make videos about, and you'll automatically get lumped into that group, and people will take advantage of it, and they will exploit it for the sole purpose and benefit of financial gain, revenue, income, profit, money, baby. So that's that. That's my review. That's my comparison of Sarasota Tim and wonderhussy. Thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. I appreciate it. And if there's any other comparisons or channels you'd like me to do a deep dive on, then by all means, feel free to reach out. Hit me up. Let me know. I'm going to go back over there and hang out with Michelle. Maybe put my feet in the water. Until next time, you guys take care. Be safe. See you real soon. Bye.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake friends gon' pop.